fuck, it's been 6 months.
It's been 6 months.
We just counted.
We did, because
we had to figure it out, and in that time, lots happened.
Yeah.
We're not friends anymore.
I actually, in the span of 6 months, I killed Jenny, I cloned her, made a clone of her, and was able to replicate her. So my clone's Tumblr still has more followers than mine does.
Yeah.
People send her messages rather than me. I'm just the extra, honestly.
Wow, you're so bitter.
No, I'm not.
I'm kidding.
I'm not. I don't care about that kind of stuff.
Well, excited to be
yeah
talking about this again. It was kind of hard. It was hard to figure out like when this was gonna come out. I feel like there was the date initially, but then I feel like there were so many like false kind of I don't know.
Well, Crunchyroll, like
why is it so hard to figure out
when
you can see stuff?
The day of, they were like, because they were like, okay, this is gonna release this day, and then
they'd always said like the 25th, but then on the 24th they were like, it's OVA today, and everyone's like, what?
Right, but then everyone waited the entire day and was like, okay, so like it was like 9 o'clock. It came
out like late.
It was 8:50 our time, and they tweeted and they're like, this will come out at 7 p.m. They didn't put us time zone, and it was like 10 minutes before it got released. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing over there? Jesus Christ! Yeah,
and it's not like they even had to like do the subtitles under pressure, because like they showed it at their convention, so like they did the subtitles already. So like, what?
The only thing I could think of, because I think the dub was released along with it.
Oh, is that why they had to wait to do the dub?
Well, I don't know, because I think the dub is out.
Okay,
but I'm honestly not too sure, because I've honestly switched full force. I'm just into the original voices.
Are they still doing the dub?
Yes.
Is that still happening?
I mean, honestly, I think there's some controversy with Reagan's voice actor now.
There is. Wig.
And with the Vic, I can never say his last name. Vic Magong. I'm sorry.
Magnolia.
That might be rude. I'm sorry, everybody.
Is that rude? I don't know.
Is it rude if it's a white person? We gotta cut that out.
Okay, so we're just gonna go through our notes that we took while watching it, and this is gonna be incoherent.
This is in Jenny's handwriting.
I just wrote
terrible.
Scarf. My first note I took was Scarf, Reagan, winter fashion.
Yeah, so they have some nice well, we don't really see a lot of winter fashion with them except for in the Aliens arc, so
I just love their nice coats and hats.
I like that.
It's so cute.
I don't know if the other characters are, and I know Serizawa has like his jacket in the suitcase later, but Ritsu is wearing exactly what he was wearing in that one promo art.
Yeah. And then they show the the North Face jacket that Serizawa was wearing in the one like train.
I literally just said that.
I'm just giving more context if people don't know which promo art you're talking about. Jesus Christ.
Okay, which promo?
Well, anyway.
I was also gonna I figured you would also show the promo art at that part.
I'm not gonna work that hard.
You have to Google it. You probably have it saved, asshole.
I don't have it saved. Who do you think I am?
Someone who has 1 million Mob Psycho pictures on their desktop alone.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. I want to talk about Serizawa's tie. So he has a solid orange tie. I don't know if I wonder if that's going to be like permanent or if it's just for like the low budget OVA. They're like, we can't afford.
I did want to talk about that.
How it's low budget.
Well, the animation is definitely more off model than usual, but I kind of like that. I thought it was nice because it was reminiscent. It was shitty, so it was reminiscent of one's art style. I'm kidding.
It looked like shit, which reminds me of one.
So it made me happy. I'm kidding. I think one's art is great.
We love one. I'm just so glad that he he got to be really involved in it. I'm kind of curious like what that means. I mean, I don't really know like how they write anime. Like do they start with a script or do they start with something that's more like a storyboard?
Oh, I'm
curious. Did he do something more like a really rough like manga first?
That's actually a really good question.
I mean, he's more of a visual, storyteller.
I think usually they do scripts, and then
okay.
I don't think they do a lot of storyboards as opposed to like Western animation does, but I could also be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious, like when they say that he wrote it, like what. Yeah.
It could also be like
it could also be in.
Yeah, for this one, I'm not too sure. I'm thinking they did. With him, he probably did like a rough up of a comic, maybe. Because that's the thing is too.
It seems like
this could have very easily just been an omake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could have just been a really rough sketch, because it seems hard to imagine that he would. I don't know. It seems weird, like to just still be like, okay, I wrote a script and there's no visual component,
Yeah, they do that a lot for like certain animations.
Yeah.
It's not as common in animation, I feel like, but I feel like there has, SpongeBob moved from like storyboards all the way to script. Like all the new SpongeBob seasons are just script.
Oh.
Yeah. So like, and we're kind of moving towards that where they're just like storyboards is too. You know what? Actually, yeah, storyboard. I've heard that specifically in Western animations, they're like really in need of storyboard artists.
Ah.
They're like, that's what we need the most of because there's hardly any storyboard artists.
Does that shit?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it could definitely be different in Eastern animation, but
yeah.
And I think
that was a tangent, but I was just curious. I'm
I'm kind of curious too.
Plop
actually,
a script down on someone's desk, or did he do more of a?
Like, when we need the script today, and he's like, I'm trying.
He's like, I'm working on it. I gotta torture Reagan more.
Vibe check.
He's so valid. I guess like the headline for this OVA is it's all about Serizawa.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because that's kind of like what the purpose of it is just, character development for him, especially going into season 3 and kind of, bridging the gap between where season 2 left off and probably where season 3 is gonna is gonna start.
It's probably gonna start. That's the thing too is because I was kind of saying this to Jenny earlier is since Mob Psycho is so not really fixed into Mob's point of view, but because it kind of is, you don't really see a lot of Serizawa's growth. You just see like the after effect of it almost.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Like it's kind of it happens really fast.
Right, exactly. So like
in the manga,
you think of like how Serizawa is at the beginning of when he starts Spirits and such, and how he is in the Reagan spin-off. It's like a completely different character, and you don't really. That growth is so gradual because we don't see a lot of the points of it. We don't see him how he is a lot in his night school. We only see really like snippets of like in omakes and stuff.
Yeah.
We don't really see how he is on like side jobs with just Reagan.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like, filling in those gaps here because I could really see season 3, starting with him just being a lot more confident.
Yeah.
And I think like this really, filled in the gaps there because we already saw like his first day at Spirits and such at the end of season 2 where he got the haircut. Yeah. So they're probably not going to start season 3 with like his first day that was in the manga where he has like a panic attack and stuff. Like I think we're just not going to see that. I think this OVA is kind of in place of that, and it's probably going to start with the like yokai.
Yeah, the yokai dude.
Hunter arc thing. Which I'm fine with.
Even if they keep the other part, I don't think it would be super out of place either. It would make sense that his growth is gradual, where he still slips up now and again.
Yeah, and for the people that didn't see the OVA, I guess that would that would help.
Yeah. Yeah, but even then, like when you're I was thinking about this the other day, like if people are gonna know like the order of watching it, but since they labeled like season 2 as Mob Psycho 2, this is Mob Psycho 2 OVA, I feel like it'll be pretty.
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously,
they watch it like before season 2, like who's this guy?
I was thinking like after season 3 or something.
Oh, okay.
But even then, there's like that line that's like you just started at Spirits and such, so it's pretty obviously where in the timeline it's supposed to be. But the thing is, Serizawa's in such a big transitional phase because he's a fucking ex-terrorist. He's going to a normal job. But he's also tough. It is tough, but he's also like, he's getting used to having Reagan as a boss.
Yeah, and he doesn't really know that, like he's used to Toichiro, who was like
belittling and
didn't give him was manipulative and didn't like let him think for himself at all. So it's nice to kind of see Reagan as like he's a good person. I don't know, have you heard?
Have you heard?
A good person.
Have you heard Reagan's actually a good person? Yeah, and it's like it's really nice, and it's nice to see that there's a scene later on where Serizawa is sure that Reagan's about to yell at him, but Reagan is just concerned, and he was happy that Serizawa was safe, and he was like,
and I love the moment
surprised.
too when Reagan's like when he is mad at him. Because I think it's like, yeah, he's kind of mad at him, like,
right.
But he's like, I can't yell at him because he's new and it's not really his fault. Like, I just love that for him because he's like, yeah, I'm frustrated, but I'm gonna take a deep breath and
I do too. That's such a great character moment for him because then you sit back and you remember and you're like, yeah, Reagan works with kids all day.
Yeah,
like he needs to be
like he used to snap at Mob like all the time and call him an idiot like every day.
Yeah,
when he was like 11 years old.
Damn, Reagan, just
so like
fucking calm down.
He's come far.
Yeah, that's the thing is Reagan's character growth himself is pretty gradual because you're focusing on Mob the entire time.
And then you're like, oh man, this dude has changed.
But anyway, should we give like a plot summary?
Nah, people have seen it.
Oh.
People aren't watching this if they haven't seen it.
Oh, well, if you haven't seen it.
Why are you listening to this?
If you haven't seen it, my Crunchyroll username is MW. So, yeah.
My password is Mob Psycho 100. My password actually is Mob Psycho 100, but you guys don't know what my email is. So.
Jenny's email is.
Stop.
So this lady is like, I own this inn, but everyone is giving
you're
it.
doing a plot summary.
Yeah, should I not?
Fine,
Jesus. Okay. Here, I'll give a super quick summary. Okay. Watch the clock. Okay, 5 seconds. Go. Lady comes in. My inn is haunted. Reagan says, oh, that's too expensive. You can go for free. How many people can I bring? Your fucking whole family, I guess. All right, cool. We're going. Bye. The end.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so
that's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
I also love that a big part of what's happening in this OVA is like Reagan just can't accept help.
Yeah.
And he can't admit when he needs help.
Yeah. He's stubborn.
He's like, oh, I have it under control.
I think
it's fine.
I think a lot of a part of that too is he's performing for somebody else rather than Mob this time around.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of unclear at this point, especially if Serizawa knows Reagan's a fake or not.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like always. I mean, I guess you could argue, like, having read the whole Reagan manga, that like maybe there's doubt. Like, it's never explicitly confirmed. That Serizawa knows that he's a fraud. Yeah. But I really don't entertain that possibility.
Yeah, I don't
very seriously.
I don't either.
Like, I think that he must have known. But yeah, I mean, it technically is sort of up for debate.
Yeah. It's God, I feel like we're like two people who are like, it's up for debate if this character is gay or not, but
you're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think at this point, I think it's just really up in the air, especially because when he first gets hired with him and stuff, does Reagan even? Well, obviously he has to tell him he's a psychic.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I mean, I guess the arguments that people have to say that Serizawa knows for sure, like, from the beginning, are one, that he saw, like, you know, Mob's memories, and that Mob kind of maybe knows, or that from that, I don't know, but people say that. And then 2, that he saved Reagan from Toichiro, and 3, that like he wouldn't have saved him if he thought he had powers.
I think Serizawa would have saved him even if he had powers.
Yeah, I think so too. Because like he knows how fucking powerful Toichiro is.
Yeah, because Toichiro. Yeah. Even if Reagan was an Esper, if he was like at Teru's level or Ritsu's level, or even if he was as strong as Mob, if it was Mob that Toichiro aimed at, I still think Serizawa would have jumped up.
Yeah, for sure. But 3, and actually maybe the most compelling.
You mean 4?
This is 3.
Oh, okay.
Is that right before that happened, Reagan told Toichiro that he's a fraud. So if Serizawa was listening to that conversation, he would have actually heard him say that. And even though it was like,
you know, that's kind of
sort of, at least maybe to Mob and Reagan, was kind of supposed to be like a lie or a trick, to anyone else listening, I don't think it would have come across that way.
But it's possible
it's true.
Serizawa talked to Mob later on and was like, "What's the deal?" And he was like, "Mob's like, I don't know."
Yeah, who knows? I
don't.
Like, honestly, I try not to think about it.
Serizawa, you need to know me for at least 4 more months before we get into
That's
this
like
discussion.
the actual truth. Is Mob's like, I try not to think about it.
Yeah, he really is like, I'm whether or not Shisho is psychic or not, I'm gonna put it deep down, and then one day I'll die.
Yeah, I'm never gonna consider
I'm never gonna know
whether or not that's true.
Right. Where are we? So yeah, so like Serizawa has like his little cheat sheet, and I really like that. I like that he was so nervous and he was up all night thinking of like researching and like you know into this trip, like how to act around like a semi-normal boss that's not a megalomaniac trying to take over the fucking world.
How to be a little businessman.
I think he was also kind of trying to research, or like it kind of read to me as like how not to be like super dependable on your boss either, and not like, you know, be codependent on them.
Yeah, how to just have sort of a normal like working relationship.
How do you have a normal relationship with someone? Serizawa Googles at night at 4 a.m.
Like, God, I wish I could sleep.
Right. God, I wish I could sleep.
We were thinking about the joke with like Teru and the top of his head that they were kind of like, you know, watching to see if they could see if his hair was still gone.
So is it are they trying to imply that he wears like another wig after
that has always confused me, the state of Teru's hair, because like he had obviously the big haystack wig, then it got chopped off, and I had always assumed that was then just like a short version of that wig, at least in that scene, but then like did his hair just grow back into the shape of that short wig at some point? Or like, is he still wearing the short wig?
The state of Teru's hair is exactly then, like whether or not
and then he gets balded again in chapter 100. So like
balded.
So
you scalped to me.
He scalped.
He got scalped.
That's the word I was looking for.
I didn't know that was a word.
He gets scalped again at the end in chapter 100, so like presumably his hair grew back at some point.
Well, he has even longer hair in the epilogue.
Yeah, and then in the epilogue he's back to his like...
He has like hair like how he did when he was first introduced.
His like protagonist of the world hair.
It's like a bit styled differently, I think, but
so like long. he must still have the like ability to grow hair. So I don't know, I thought that joke was funny, but I was also like, what's the implication?
It caught me off guard, honestly, and I wasn't sure how to take the scene.
That's just because we think too hard about Mob Psycho, though.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Mob Psycho AU, where instead of Reagan admits he doesn't have powers to Mob at the very last chapter, he's like, Teru's still wearing a wig. I know it. I saw it of himself.
Mom, I have something I need to tell you. I need to tell you right now.
Kanazawa's still wearing a wig. He took it off. I saw it myself.
Mom just kills him.
Any joke that ends with Mob kills Reagan is immediately like gut-wrenching to me. It's so funny. Jenny, I cannot read your notes for the fucking life of me, so I'm gonna let you lead.
Christ, sorry. Yeah, we're not very far through this list. Say some things about Gamerzawa.
I've been meaning to talk about Gamerzawa with you. I've been
so dying to talk to you about Gamerzawa.
Well, a few months ago, I made a post on like Tumblr that was like, here's a bunch of Gamerzawa headcanons because I need to dump this somewhere. Jenny's not a gamer, so this all goes over her.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be quiet.
No, I just like, and I like try to explain it, and even then I think it goes over her head. But basically, I said Serizawa was a Nintendo fanboy and was into really retro games, and one saw my post and was like, OP's mind. So the thing is, Serizawa makes a reference, and he's like, this is like, the plumbers, and I'm like, okay, obviously that's Mario, but what caught me off...
Yeah, even I got that.
Yeah, but the thing is, specifically, he references not the first Mario game, Super Mario Bros., but he references the very first arcade game that was released in 83 that Mario Bros turned into, that it was called Mario Bros, it turned into Super Mario Bros, because he says this reminds me of a single screen game, and I think he says in the sewers about these plumbers, because if you guys don't know, that game was an arcade game, and it features Mario and Luigi in a single screen where they're actually in the sewers. That's where the plumbers thing comes from. And then he's like, oh, this was in an RPG later on. And I think that's a reference to the first Zelda game, but I could be wrong on that one. And then he starts talking. He's like, games these days. And Reagan kind of cuts him off like, okay.
Let him finish.
Which is like reminiscent of me yelling about games. And then Jenny's like, okay.
Or anyway.
No, Jenny lets me talk. And then I go, and she goes, soon I will be able to talk about my thing.
Let me talk about my thing. No, I don't know what my thing is.
And, well, Bill Hader.
Now we're going to talk about Barry on HBO for an hour and 15 minutes.
And then we just talk at each other about different things that we're really into, and then it goes like that forever until we both die.
That's our friendship.
That's just our friendship.
And sometimes we overlap, and it's scary.
Sometimes we overlap
it's
and
frightening.
Make podcasts that are 5 hours long.
It's very scary.
It is scary. Scary Zawa.
Scary Zawa.
But yeah, I like this gamer part for Serizawa.
Oh, that was very cute.
Yeah.
A couple other just random things. I liked that Serizawa said that enclosed spaces comfort him because he was a shut-in. That's mentioned during like the yokai arc in the manga.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. When they're in the tunnel, he's
oh, you're right.
He's like, actually, I really like enclosed spaces. I just think that's adorable. Like,
yeah, because you would actually think you would think the opposite.
Yeah.
Which I
he's
like.
Like, yeah, it kind of comforts me. Very cute.
Anything like that where they like expect like certain like trauma to be like received differently.
Yeah.
Than it is, and it's like a
like
realistic thing. I like when media does that.
Mm-hmm. When Mob and Serizawa are both just like, isn't Master amazing? Like Reagan works so hard.
I love that. The thing is like Serizawa just letting Reagan sleep, and it comes off it's like, asshole, wake him up. But he's honestly just like, I think he knows what he's doing.
He's just
him.
Dumb and believes in Reagan.
Himbo
like
writes,
it's not his fault. Like,
aren't we all just a little dumb and believe in Reagan a little bit too much?
Honestly, like how can you fault him for that?
Right. He wanted him to sleep.
He's just like, he deserves to rest.
Yes.
Like, you're right, he does.
Right.
And Reagan's never gonna admit that he needs help. So like, let him suffer a little bit.
Yeah,
I think if you don't like seeing Reagan suffer, you're not a true Reagan fan.
Honestly.
Like, I think if you don't get some kind of enjoyment out of seeing Reagan have a terrible day, then you need to project onto Reagan more.
Mom Psycho is just, you need to project onto Reagan more.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like, come on.
I think if you ever have a favorite character where you just don't like to see him suffer a little, I feel like it's like, is that really your favorite character?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly.
Like, do you really like this character if you don't want to see him suffer a little?
Yeah.
They gotta have
just
a bad day.
Bit.
Just a little bit. Speaking of bad day, and you thought the same thing with this, the scene where Reagan attempts to jump out of the train, I was like reading that as like a suicide.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, the way, yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, whoa, we're really going dark now. Like,
it was a major tone
overtly
shift.
Dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like,
really,
this is the only way out.
Right, yeah, and I was like, rewatching it still kind of has that somewhat tone, but I don't know if I was just like, what the fuck?
Probably not, but
yeah, I don't know if I was reading into it too much.
Who knows?
Reagan's depressed.
I mean, yeah, I love that for him.
Sexy depression.
Couple random things about Serizawa. Love that he overpacks so much.
Same,
prepared
honestly.
Boy.
He is.
He's reading like a magazine about high school.
Yeah, like it's,
he's gonna go to school.
Yeah, those kind of foreshadows that.
Yeah, like maybe season 3 will start and he's like already in school. You know,
I doubt that. Well,
maybe.
Isn't there like a conversation he has with Reagan?
The conversation is basically, "Hey Reagan, I'm gonna go to school." And Reagan says, okay. Like, that conversation doesn't need to be in the anime.
I like how I'm like, I think they'll include it. And you're like, no, you fucking idiot. The conversation's 2 seconds long.
Like, I'm just saying, like, the amount of stuff they have to cover. I think, like, they could show, like, instead of doing that scene, they could just show him doing his homework and be like, hey, how's school going? And the audience, who has half a fucking brain, will go, oh, he's in school.
Jesus Christ. All I'm saying is, I feel like that might go over some people's heads, so I feel like...
How stupid. If it does, then good. Like...
Oh my god!
Use your goddamn brain. You have to
Jesus Christ! Do you have some pent-up rage against me? Is there anything else you need to get out?
Not against you, against people that think everything needs to be, like, spelled out.
I'm not saying it needs to be spelled out. I'm just saying,
I'm just doing a bit, okay?
I know you're doing a bit. It's not funny.
Just to make it clear for the audience, I'm doing a bit. I'm not actually angry.
Is this part of the bit where you have to spell it out? Are you trying to prove your point?
See how much less funny it is when I tell you what I'm doing explicitly?
Jenny, I'm literally gonna kill you.
Show, don't tell.
Just gonna murder you. All I'm saying is, I don't think the season will automatically start with him in school.
Well...
Jesus Christ!
I disagree.
I'm gonna be popping the biggest bottles when it doesn't immediately start. Opening scene, season 3, Sarazawa's doing his homework.
It's not gonna be the opening scene, but
That's what you're saying.
No, I think that it's like when I don't think obviously it's not gonna be the opening scene. I think like
it sounds like you're trying to say it.
No, like I think like instead of showing him like I think like when we see him, he will already be in school. I think they're not going to do the whole him like being like kind of deciding.
How far in the manga after Sarazawa joins Spirits and such does he start school?
It's around the is it around the time of the kind of beginning of it's before Broccoli arc for sure.
You're right, because it's
pretty
doing
early.
A school thing, yeah.
That's why he doesn't get brainwashed. He was too busy studying.
While you were getting brainwashed, I was studying something in school.
Studying math.
I was studying the math.
God, I was like, how are we gonna make this long? And here we go.
By berating me, apparently. That's how you make it long. I feel like we should go another 6 months without talking. Just like to each other.
Fine.
I feel like I need a break.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I can't believe I haven't yet mentioned Reagan with stubble.
Oh my god.
I love it. I love it because it's so aggressively like not sexy that it like loops back around and is sexy.
What is it, Mob? Who's like, why do you look like shit?
I think this is why do you look like that, which is almost funnier.
Why do you look like that?
Like, why do you look like
Why do you look like a mess? Terrible. Look like shit,
like
Shisho.
no tie, stubble, like they could have made it. They could have made it sexier, but then they didn't, and by not making it sexier, they made it sexier.
I think the funniest thing is just the juxtaposition between Reagan being like a god-awful mess, and Sarazawa comes back, and he's like wearing pajamas, he's freshly cleaned,
yeah,
he's relaxed.
He's just like, what's going on?
He's
How's
like,
this train thing going for you, boss?
How you doing, boss?
Any updates?
Any updates? No!
Oh, we need to talk about the note that Reagan wrote. So, it shows briefly when he's like fully having a breakdown this note that he wrote, and it wasn't translated like by Crunchyroll. It didn't have subtitles for it, but a lovely person on Twitter translated the whole thing, and a couple notes about it. It's like sad. It's basically like a goodbye letter.
What I like about this OVA, it's so lighthearted, but when you look at stuff like that, like, oh, that's sad. Like, he basically is like to his parents, I know I've been a burden. And
so,
then
he addresses like everyone kind of in his life.
And he says the same thing to Sam. He says the same my boss. I should mention.
Yeah, that's why we laughed so really hard at Sam. To Mom.
To Mom.
Yeah, he even says like, oh, like I'm
even now.
Yeah, even now I'm like I'm a trouble to you or something.
Yeah.
But what really gets me is there were two what I kind of thought were references to like chapter 100, at least because the translations were like the same, you know, wording. So one is he says like so he's addressing like Mob and Teru and Serizawa, and he says like, even without me, like you can do this, you can like run the business, which just reminds me of when he says to Mob in chapter 100, like, even without me you'll be okay. And then at the end of the letter he says like, if it's you guys, I know you can do it, which is like definitely has to be a reference, because that's what he says to Mob. But just like that, I'm like, one, why do you want me dead? I'm
really excited for when season 3 comes out and ends, and people who have only seen the anime go back and watch the OVA and catch that. That's gonna be cool. But the other thing is, so in the letter he's like, Mob, I want you to have my business. And a couple notes. Yeah. Mob's probably like, I don't want your fucking business.
He's like, Shisha, why
Jesus
would I want
Christ,
this?
Why would I want this? And the thing is,
like, do you know how much debt you're in?
Right. But the thing is, he hasn't had that moment yet with Mob where Mob's like admits to Reagan, he's like, I don't want to do this for my life. And that's in yokai, that. Right?
Yeah, that's So that'll probably be sort of at the beginning of season 3, and then and I love that because Reagan is so accepting immediately. Like
he really is.
Like the joke is kind of like there's a panel where he kind of narrows his eyes at Mob, and you think he's gonna be like,
don't be stupid, Mob.
You don't want this or whatever, but then he's like, no, it's okay. Yeah, like you don't have to want this. That's
literally one of my favorite scenes with Reagan, because it shows how much he's grown from where he's accepting of like what Mob wants.
Yeah. He's like, of course I don't want you to do something that you
exactly. And he's like, it just shows how much he wants to see Mob grow. Yeah. But yeah, I like that part a lot. And I also like how on the letter he like chooses to write it on like the side with all the little cartoony parts instead of like the blank page side.
Good for him.
Good for depressed Reagan.
So then there's the kind of emotional resolution of the episode when Serizawa realizes that he can think for himself, and that they kind of got into this mess because of the way that like both of their issues play off of each other, which is like Serizawa not being assertive enough and Reagan not being able to ask for help, and they kind of got themselves into this situation because of their complementary problems.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. And then of course they do like Reagan clasps his hand on Serizawa exactly how he does with Mob.
It's like
so it's
the
like
same animation,
beating you over the head like, do you understand the parallels?
Do you get it?
Do you fucking get it yet? But what's nice is like obviously we've seen Serizawa paralleled to Mob and Reagan and Tochiro, obviously, but also this is like specifically paralleling Mob's relationship with Reagan, Serizawa's relationship with Reagan. Yeah.
It's kind of nice that like Reagan is now like, he's now going into this relationship with all of that experience at his back, and he's not making the same mistakes.
Yeah, he's not making the same mistakes he originally did as a mentor. Yeah. I mean, you already pointed out, there's definitely going to be some mistakes, like their complementary problems that they have. Yeah. And also, like I said earlier, I think Reagan's really trying to get into where he's with an adult right now.
Right. And I think all like Sari Ray feelings aside,
he's with an adult.
Yeah, I think it's like and I think that's like why they're able to be more on equal footing, like apart from the fact that they're, you know, close in age.
Yeah. That's another thing.
Yeah, I mean, like that's obviously like a big part of it, is that it's not really that same kind of relationship. That's the obvious power imbalance of him being older than him and having that kind of adult and child relationship. Yeah. But like the fact that he's already sort of been through this and made a lot of mistakes as like a mentor, that he's able to do it better and not like kind of make like not ruin their relationship.
Yeah, just not fuck up their relationship completely.
Not create a bunch of like baggage that they have to work through years later.
Right. Well, like, while Tears, I was like destroying the city or something.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're doing this again.
We're doing this again. Well, let's change it up. Let's have Reagan destroy the city.
Yeah, Reagan deserves
He's just really
to destroy
drunk.
the city.
Reagan deserves to go on a berserk
He's just like
rampage.
throwing bricks.
Yeah, they're like, there's a drunk crazy man.
Good for
throwing
him,
drink.
honestly.
It's just bricks. Reagan threw the first brick and stone.
I knew you were gonna say that. Last few notes. I mean, I think this OVA, I was on like Nipple Watch 2019, and
I
I'm
hate that.
sorry to report there were no nipples. 0 nipples.
Yeah, I was just trying to think if the kids had nipples.
No
which
nipples.
is a sentence I never want to say again.
They can have, you're born with nipples.
What? I didn't get mine until I was 16. What do you mean? They give it to you.
Like government issued nipples.
Yeah, they give it to you when you get your driver's license. Give it to you when you get your ID for the first time. I don't have a driver's license, so I still don't have
carry
mine.
nipples.
Ma'am, do you have a license for those nipples?
I'm gonna need to see a license.
I'm gonna need to see a license. I could already see the nipples.
I have a conceal and carry permit for my nipples.
Ma'am, it's called conceal. Carry.
Can't have that shit out in public.
You know what's funny is, like, that's just the argument against breastfeeding.
Wait, against what?
Breastfeeding.
Oh, okay.
Ma'am, you have a permit for those breastfeeding?
You have a permit for those tits?
You have a permit for those tits feeding your baby?
Anyway.
You ever get into breastfeeding politics on a Mob Psycho podcast?
We do.
We do. This podcast has everything.
Reagan wanting to have a pillow fight with 3 14-year-olds and an adult man and a ghost.
And a ghost.
I love him so much I could cry.
They're like, I love Ritsu's deadpan. Reagan-san, behave yourself.
He's like, this is literally just embarrassing for you.
Yeah.
It's very cute because I
It
love
is
like
cute.
Reagan like just kind of wants to have fun.
He does.
Sometimes he's like, can we just have a pillow fight? But he's like that kid at the sleepover that's like, we're gonna play a game and you're gonna like it. These are the fucking rules for Monopoly, Jeremy.
Reagan's that kid at the sleepover who's still talking past midnight when everyone else wants to go to bed, but he's still, and he's just, it's, you think he shut up?
Watch another movie.
Yeah, you think he shut up for a while, so everyone's quiet, and then he's like,
Hey guys.
I don't think my parents love each other.
And they're like, Reagan, we don't want to talk about your fucking trauma anymore.
Yeah.
God damn it, we're tired.
Yeah.
I love this boy and man.
I love this.
I love his little arm when he flexes and then he yells at them. He's so cute.
He is cute. I love it.
Also, I was thinking, I think this OVA is actually just what it's like to vacation as an adult.
Yeah.
Like, Reagan is just so relatable. Like, he has to wrangle all these kids. He has their, like, itinerary. He has to manage all these things, and then, like, things go wrong, and he can't sleep, and everyone has fun without him, and I'm just like, God.
That's what, this OVA makes me so sad, because Reagan's asleep the entire time.
I know, he missed the whole trip.
He did.
And then, like, when he wanted to have fun with everyone, they were like, shut up, Reagan.
Yeah, they really were. Reagan can't catch a break. He's everyone's punching bag.
I know. Which,
he really
like,
does deserve
fair,
to go berserk.
but, like, yeah. When is Reagan gonna go sicko mode?
When is Reagan gonna go sicko mode?
I mean, I guess he kind of did in, like, Separation Arc, but...
That was when he was unhinged for, like, how long is Separation Arc again? We
like,
figure this out.
3 weeks.
Is it 3 weeks?
It's a while because, like, there's a while when he's building up his business, and then there's, like, the time when he's on TV. Like, there's a couple gaps in there.
You're right. Yeah.
It's at least, like, a couple weeks. I think it's longer in the anime because they put in, like, a week time gap, like, 2 or 3 times.
You're right, I think they do.
But, anyway.
I was about to say the dumbest thing.
Say it.
I was gonna say, Reagan spent Thanksgiving by himself, and then I remember
that they're Japanese.
Yeah, it also takes place, I think they get back together before Thanksgiving happens.
So even if they did, that's actually the real problem with that logic, is that Separation Arc is over before Thanksgiving. That's like Broccoli Arc is like November. late November.
Thanksgiving.
Dimple was brainwashing everyone during Thanksgiving.
It's instead of a broccoli, it's just turkey. It's just like the Pilgrims.
The end with the business cards that Reagan gives to
like that. I
Mom and
was
Sarah. I also like that he brought them and then didn't like present them until the end of the trip. I mean, I guess he was asleep the whole time.
Yeah,
so maybe fair, he was planning on doing it earlier.
He was gonna. He probably was gonna be like,
"This is our end of episode,
good
emotional closure moment. I need to save it."
Yeah, he's like, "Here, Sarah, this will complete your arc for the episode."
Yeah, which is very cute. And then when he takes the business cards and he crumples up the notes and he's like, "Okay, I can think for myself. I can." Yeah.
Someone should make if someone's really good at like Photoshop and stuff, someone should make an edit where Sarah crumples up the business card instead and throws it back at Reagan's face. I think that would be funny. Yeah, and Dimple's like, looks.
I quit.
This card says poor to me, and I'm like, it's minimalist.
I know. I was like Dimple. Sometimes you have to just not say things.
Dimple, this is why you don't have a business card. Also because you're a ghost, and if someone handed out ghosts on, well, maybe it could work for spirits and such.
Yeah.
Reagan finally take charge of Dimple being the mascot.
Yeah. Honestly. He needs to monetize that shit.
He really does. He's making all this fanny packs and plushies of Dimple and stuff. Are there Dimple plushies?
Probably.
I haven't seen any, but I've seen a fanny pack, which I kind of unironically want.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah, I need to carry my snacks and shit in that.
I think the last thing is that
the card game.
The card, yeah. So I think the one potential. Well, so there was no season 3 announcement in the OVA, which honestly was the thing I was like most.
I didn't think they would announce it
hoping
that soon.
For.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought you just said before we started recording that you thought it was late.
Jenny, in all honesty, I can't remember what I said 10 minutes ago.
Because I said like maybe it's too early for announcement. You're like, honestly, it's late. And I was like, okay, go off. And now you're like, oh, it's too early.
Well, no, so because when you think about it, when the first OVA premiered, it was like a while after season 1.
This is pretty fast after
season 2. That's what I'm saying. In like conjunction with that. In conjunction with how seasons are usually announced, though, it's been a while.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because you would think. I mean, obviously,
thank you.
We weren't gonna get like a premiere date or anything,
no.
But just to not even hear that it's been greenlit or anything is a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
And people kind of say about like the hints, like at the end of season 1, for instance, there was the thing with like the mushrooms, the 2 mushrooms on the grill that people are like, ooh, that's a hint for season 2, and I don't know if that's like true, because like why would they put in hints if it wasn't like confirmed?
That's the thing, is like, can they even do that where it's like, I don't know if they're under the same restrictions where it's like the company's like, you can't say anything.
It seemed like there's 2 things, like
right, there's 2 people.
There's a lot of 2 things.
Yeah.
A lot of things are 2.
A lot of things come in 2s.
But for this, it was at the end of the episode when like was it Ritsu was holding card, or was it Mob? It was one of them was holding cards, and one of the cards was 3, number 3, and that was the one that Serizawa like picked.
But then automatically the next card that's picked is a Joker, so
clowning
on all of you. Yeah, it really is like, if you
think you're getting a season 3.
Yeah, it's like, you're a clown.
You're an absolute clown.
You're a clown.
So,
you're just a clown.
You're just a clown.
You're just a sloppy bitch. I'm sorry. I went through this whole podcast without referencing it.
We were literally, before this, we were like, how are we gonna go like 40 minutes without either talking about Bill Hader or it or Barry, and then we did all 3, so we didn't make it. Sometimes the hyperfixation switch just gets flipped and you're like, how are we gonna get through this?
Which is such a fucking like out of nowhere, like, okay, I guess this fucking anime podcast goes into this now. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I guess.
Sorry guys. You know what you're signing up for.
Yeah. We had a lot of time to watch other shit in 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. Now that we're kind of done, let's just like chat and about our lives.
Well, I was gonna say we could say what we were thinking of doing for the next few podcasts.
Yeah. So, just actually today I saw that the next season of BoJack was announced to come out October 25th, which will also be the final season of BoJack. And it's going to be a 2-part season, so I think they're going to do, I mean, I don't know how many episodes for each part, but they're probably going to do 2, you know, kind of dumps, maybe 6 and 6. Yeah. I don't know how far apart they'll be, but, you know, Netflix has done this before, like with Arrested Development, they did this. Yeah, so it was like 6 episodes, and then like 6 months later they did another 6 or something like that.
Oh, I can't wait 6 months.
You have to. I kind of like this because for the past like 3 seasons of BoJack or however many, I watched the entire season in a day, and it just like drained me.
The thing is, so I have a lot of, we've talked about this a lot to an extent where I have a lot of beef with the idea of binging because there's so many things in like seasons that get dumped all at once where a certain episode doesn't get their limelight in the week because of it, and there's so many good moments that you miss. So I really do like this decision.
It's true. I'm totally down with this. But, especially with a show like BoJack where there's so much to unpack, and I wish that each episode would get like you know, special attention.
Exactly. But because they're doing like 2 parts, we figured it would be easier to do an actual podcast review on that.
So we're gonna do a video about that when that comes out. I'm also planning just individually. I have this video essay about BoJack and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It's the same video essay because I want to talk about both of them together at the same time.
And you have to release that soon because it's about how you think BoJack
it's about how I think BoJack will end. So I've written it. I just need to like record it and shit. So I'm gonna do that. I also am gonna make.
So watch BoJack.
So watch BoJack. Also watch Barry on HBO.
Is Bill Hader? When's Bill Hader's check coming for you?
I wish. No. Like I'm fucking obsessed with Barry now. It's like the best show I've watched since Breaking Bad, and that was 6 years ago.
If you guys didn't know, Jenny's like obsessed with Breaking Bad. She's been making me try to watch it for
people probably don't know this about me, but I am like Breaking Bad is like my
That's like the one you go back to.
Yep.
The one that never got
away. The one that never got away.
And I feel like a shit friend because I have yet to finish it.
It's fine.
No, it's not.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I hate myself.
But you watched Barry, which is good. So whenever season 3 of Barry comes out, I would really like for Arissa and I to also do weekly podcasts about that. Which is, I feel like, appropriately niche.
It is. I mean,
a very different niche, I think, than Mob Psycho, but maybe there's some crossover.
I don't think there's any crossover, but I think it's niche enough.
There's a few people on Tumblr that are into both.
Good for well, maybe we can rope them in. We can rope them into like this.
It's my mission.
I think Barry's a really good show. It says it's a comedy. I think it's more drama. But it's very funny. I like it. It's
very funny, but very, very dark.
It gets same with BoJack too. I mean,
because BoJack's a comedy technically, but I really like. I think I like shows that have like a lot of humor in them because I just think like life is like that, and I don't really have any patience to watch anything that's not like funny.
So here's something to recommend Barry is I can't sit through live action shit at all.
That's true.
I cannot do it. And
I'm so proud of you for watching Barry.
Yeah, when Jenny said Barry is 30 minutes long each episode, I said, okay, this is probably going to take me a while to watch this. I finished it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Both seasons, and it's only like 8 episodes each season, but still, so I can't pay attention to live action, but I got really invested in it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
and I can't watch stuff without also being on my phone. Like, literally for the past, like, a year, I, like, didn't really watch a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't have the attention for it. But, like, so when I watch something and I, like, put my phone down and I'm only watching it and I'm not doing anything else, that's like, ooh, this show's good. And that's what happened with Barry, where I was like, this is the only thing that I'm, like, focusing on. So that was awesome.
We should probably put a marker in this video that's like, we stopped talking about Mob Psycho.
We stopped talking about Mob Psycho.
Now we're talking about other shit and stuff we're probably gonna do for your channel.
Should we talk about it just for fun?
I feel we could do a different video for it.
Yeah.
I feel like
we should do a video about like maybe when we're both done reading it. So we both got like into it because of the horror movie. Yeah, obviously. I feel like when you
it's one of those things where you can't really
you'd be like It 2019 It Chapter 2 and we're probably gonna watch it's 2017 like right now.
Right now, I'm gonna get really drunk and watch it. Yeah.
So and now we're both kind of gonna read the book, which might take a long time, but maybe we'll do something about that.
Yeah, so
it's a big book.
It's a big book, but and I mean that's a more difficult thing to recommend because it is a horror thing.
Yeah, and I can totally see why people wouldn't.
There's a lot of stuff I know people have said about the book specifically that's just trash, and it's like. Yeah, that's
and about chapter 2. I think that there's some really valid criticism of like chapter 2 and the way that they handled
some stuff.
A lot of things, even though I really liked the movie because whatever.
I've seen it twice.
I've seen it 3 times. Yeah. I think that I think it's. Yeah. I don't have any problem with people that are like, I think that some things in that are kind of shitty and homophobic and like whatever, and I'm like,
yeah, I think it is one of those things. But yeah, I like it. You can like something and accept the criticisms about it.
Amazing. Look at us.
But yeah, you guys should watch BoJack. I think a lot of people who
watch
are
BoJack.
Already fans of Jenny's channel probably have seen her from BoJack because she has some great video essays on it.
Wow, thanks for the plug, dude.
On your own channel? We're on your channel right now.
I don't think that's true because my like 2 BoJack video essays that I made in like 2017 only have like 20 views.
Well, go binge BoJack, and then BoJack is if you watch it, it's one of those shows where I recommend looking into like trigger warnings for it.
Oh, that's true.
Because it gets dark.
Yep. For sure.
But it's one of those shows where I think the darkness is like
I think it's earned.
It's earned.
Yeah.
It's earned.
I don't think it's ever... I think it's not... Like, somehow it's not, like, cynical.
I don't... Yeah,
like, there's some... Like, even though it's so dark, and even though, like...
Yeah.
It's not... I wouldn't say it's optimistic.
Right.
But it's, like, not cynical.
I agree.
I can't really do media that's super cynical anymore.
Same. I can't. Other things is...
Because life, you know?
Right. I also watched, and Jenny watched it, and I don't think she got super into it as I did, but I watched Final Space, which the first season of that is on Verve, if you guys have Verve, and I thought it just finished its 2nd season. I think that one's really good. I think it's really cute. It's a nice adult animated one that's not in the same vein as any other adult animation I've seen, where it's not cynical, like you were saying, like to be cynical and vain. So I thought that one was really cute.
Yeah, it's cute, and I like it, like what I've seen of it. But yeah.
I think season 2 is kind of rough, but I think it's headed in a good direction. So those are just some stuff we recommend. It's kind of varied.
Yeah,
stuff we've been watching the past few months. And I was gonna say, like, if people like hearing us talk. If you guys have ideas of what we should do, like weekly, I don't know, like movie podcasts or something, or video game shit, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to, like, you know, get together more often and do this kind of thing.
Yeah, because the good thing with Mob Psycho was we would have to get together every week. We had to
hang out every week.
Which was good, though.
We live in different cities, so, like, I mean, not, like, far apart, but, like, you know, it's, like, a half-hour drive, so it's, like, it's easy if we don't have a reason, like, to get together. It's easy to like not do it, but so it's really nice to
so like if people have ideas or if people want to hear more from me, it's Jenny's channel, so like
well I like doing stuff with you, you know, because it's like I like doing the kind of unscripted stuff too, just because it's less work
than a script.
Like doing all that and all the editing is kind of, you know, daunting, but
that's fair.
And it's just more fun too to like work with someone else. So and
then obviously when Mob Psycho season 3 comes out,
we will be back. And I'm like, every time I think about season 3, like my throat is like closing up right now. Like I'm just like, holy shit. I feel like right now I'm obviously like I'm not as into Mob Psycho as I was 6 months ago. Like I don't I haven't watched it in a long time. I haven't really thought about it much in a while. But like
but when season 3
comes back,
it's back on.
You don't even know.
Yeah, when they drop.
It's about to go off.
It's about to go. Oh, Jenny.
Oh, Bart.
It's about
you
to
don't
go
even know.
Off. And I know some people have said, why don't you guys go back and review season 1? I think instead of doing that, maybe we could do like not a live stream, but like get drunk and just like have like a super cut of just the funniest things we can say during season 1, super hammered.
Yeah, because I feel like when we did the season 2, we talked about so many things about season 1. Yeah, like we would just talk. I feel like
there's no point in going back
because we would just talk about the series as a whole a lot and talk about the manga, and that's what I really liked about what we did. Yeah. Can I just talk about how great we were? I really do feel like, I watched like some content from other YouTubers that were talking about season 2 of like Mob Psycho, but like none of them had read the manga, so I feel like the perspective was very limited. Niche. So I feel like we got that niche part down where we're like, we're gonna talk about the manga, we're gonna have that like holistic view. I feel like it's kind of forbidden to talk about the manga, especially if it's a bigger YouTubers, because they're not gonna pay you for it. Yeah, they can't. You can't really. We are free range, organic. Fuck capitalism.
Which, by the way, Mob Psycho, the manga is still getting published in English, so if you haven't picked it up, please pick it up.
The third volume's that I'm looking at them on my
They keep pushing the volume dates back.
Yeah, but keep buying them because
I think the next one comes out in January.
Yeah, they're not releasing them very frequently, but
rip anybody who's reading the manga for the first time like that.
Yeah,
why are you
doing imagine?
Why are you doing that to yourself?
And also the translation kind of sucks.
The translation is really bad.
Read the scanlation, like it's better.
But buy it just to support it.
And buy it to have it on your bookshelf, but read the...
Looks good on your bookshelf.
I've read the first volume of the official translation. I haven't read the other 2. I just bought them.
Yeah, honestly, me too. I've kind of looked at them and I've been like...
I flipped through them and I'm like, okay.
What's the one thing they do that pisses me off?
They call them superhumans instead of
Yes! And they say superpowers instead of just psychic abilities or weird. Something. It's just stupid and dumb. Why did they choose to do that?
It's just weird.
It's just stupid. And then there's like this
one... You can tell there wasn't a lot of effort put into the translation.
And there's like this one specific chapter. I think it's the chapter where Teru and Mob fight for the first time, and it's like the chapter's called like looking at something. I can't remember what the original thing is, but they translate it to just it's like looking at trash or something, and I'm like,
it's like what?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, some of the translations are just like, who?
Oh, and Mob doesn't want to be popular; he wants to be attractive.
Oh yeah, yep.
So Tomei just being like, "You're not attractive" is very funny, but also, damn, Tomei, pull your punches.
And you never will be.
And you never will be. Damn
How
it!
Do you know that?
Damn, Tomei, God.
He could get a glow up. You don't know.
Mob could get a... My favorite thing is when people draw Mob older, but he still has the same bowl cut.
I know, like, Mob, cut your hair, baby.
Mob, cut your hair.
Come on.
Mob, please, cut your hair. Alright, well, I think that's
it. We're coming up on an hour, so...
That's it. We're done.
I think we gotta call it.
You gotta go. We're done. Get out of the house. Give me your micro. Get out of the house. I'm gonna fuck your wife.
Stop.
Bye.
No one's gonna ask us to do season 3 anymore, so we got out of it. We're gonna do it regardless. So
sometimes you gotta make content for yourself, baby.
Fuck you guys.
Oh,
I'm kidding. We love you.
Bye.